So financially, how close is your margin? I mean, if the property taxes increase, you lose a crop, what happens to your family farm of what, 3-4 generations?
Number 4 right over there.
Hope you have an understanding lender.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and that's basically you learn to cut. You know, you do what the people in New Jersey have to learn to do. You know, the unions and stuff. In 08, 09, we lost 40% of the price of milk. That's how far it dropped, 40%. And we survived. We had to tighten the belt, and you do different things to watch it, dollars and cents, and you know, make it work to your better time.
Yeah.
That's the key. You got to tighten the belt up.
Now, talk to me about how exactly it works. Talk to me about in a good year, how do things operate for you, and what makes a good year for you?
Oh, a good year is a good crop. I mean, you know, you get in our crops, and you know, depending on your soil types in Jersey, but you get a good crop in our area, and you take that money if you make a profit, and the margins are tight. I mean, there's no big margin any given year, and you save. You put that aside.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, then you take that and turn around and hopefully it covers you in a bad year. You buy seed ahead. Like, you know, last year wasn't a bad year. I bought a lot of my inputs ahead. So that way for this year, at least I had that, didn't have to pay for that part of the equation. But then if you get a bad year, now you okay, this year's settled, but what do you do for next year?
Right. And you're playing catch up then.
Right, you know, and the property taxes are huge. I mean, we pay taxes on this house, he's paid taxes on his house, it's all come out of, you know, the money's all come out of the same little kitty.
How much of your taxes gone up in the last few years?
Actually, a year ago, they slipped a little bit here in town, thanks to the mayor. And, but then they, but then they've come back a little bit, but, you know, we're about, off the top of my head, about 8,000 for a 200-year-old house here.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, with Jim's, he's got
About
a,
6.
about 6, he's got a little ranch house on an acre of ground, it's not a very big house.
Yep.
You know, so that, and they say, the tax dollars come out of the same pot, same checkbook, gotta pay them, you know.
That's right. Yeah, so like
And,
everybody else.
he's gotta learn to, you know, Brian's doing a good job, he's trying, they're trying,
Yep.
yeah. I wouldn't wanna be, the mayor or one of the town council people in this town right now is going through some hard times, but they're doing a good job of it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the stuff that we're trying to do now at the state level is to provide you with a certain level of certainty going forward, so that, you know, you're not going to have these big spikes anymore, where, you know that it's not going to go up any more than 2%, and you hope that we'll give incentives by having them be able to bank the cap. So in a year where it kind of slips, they can bank credit below 2% for that. So if things go bad in another year, they can spend that money in another way. But it'll help, I hope, to provide you some certainty so you can plan. You don't have to worry about the fact that, oh man, my property taxes may go up 6 or 7% this year. You know, it's not gonna, that won't happen under this proposal. 2% is it, unless people come and vote to have it be higher. And you know, it takes the control out of all the bureaucrats in Trenton. Before, what were the numbers, Kim? 146 waivers got applied for, and 129 got approved. So almost every time a town went down for a waiver to raise your taxes higher above the 4%, they got it. Where now that group's going to be out of business. They're not going to be in the business of setting property tax rates anymore. So if they want to go above the 2%, they got to put it to the voters in November. And then you got to vote on it.
It's going to affect the people. The people have the say in it. Absolutely.
And that was the whole theory.
Home rule.
That's right. It's the whole theory all along, and it's to empower mayors like Brian to say, like, if there's a particular year where there's something that needs to be done, he gets to make the case to all of you. Why we need a little bit more. He does a good job making the case. People vote for it. He doesn't, then people are going to say no. And I think you all have to have control of what you're paying now, because times are too difficult to leave that in anybody else's hands.
I think you're right that a cap, like a cap 2, it gives everyone consistency. They can plan their lives a lot better. And on that off year, so we might need something.
Yep.
Whatever happens, major repairs. I've been trying to take my cue from the state a little bit too. You have a real budget. You're not borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. If we had to cut back, we did. When we outsourced, we did. And I take a step back and say, what line of business am I in? I'm in public safety, a little less recreation. If I'm providing a service that either I shouldn't be in or the public sector could do itself, or the private sector, I'm saying let's pull out of that one now.
Yeah. No, that's with all the choices we're going to have to make. There's no room for doing stuff that you just like to do. We can only do the stuff now we absolutely have to do, need to do, because we don't have the money to do anything else, and we shouldn't be taking it away from folks. like all of you, to say, well, this would be a nice program. Well, there's lots of things that might be nice to do, but you're not getting to make those judgments in a tough year, like, you know, to do the things that might be nice to do. You're just getting by, paying the bills, and making sure you keep things moving down the road.
The state budget, welcome to the world of agriculture, same thing.
Yep.
You know, we'd like to have a new tractor, a new pickup truck. You just can't go out and get it.
Yep.
You know, you'd like to, but
Not this year.
not this year.
No.
Maybe not, you know, and probably the trouble is when you have one bad year, even though you have a good year after, they say it takes 3 to 5 years to catch up on a bad year. So
Yeah.
you got to really plan and budget and go way out. It's like the state's trying to do, and it's a great thing, great thing.
Well, listen, it's been necessary for a long time for us to do it, and we take examples from folks like you. I mean, who we haven't been doing that before, now we are. You know, it's never easy, especially down there, to say no. You know, because everybody always wants to be popular. You know, give away bags of money. You know, you're always the most popular guy in the world.
Yeah.
But you know, I felt like you know, Kim and I got sent down there to say no, and to impose some discipline again, and say to people like, you know, this is not like make believe money. My mother used to say all the time when we were kids, and we'd ask for something. She said, "Where do you think the money comes from, Chris? From a tree in the backyard that I pick it off of?" You know?
I ask her that all the time.
Right? So you know, you think, you know, I try to remind the legislature and other people down there, my cabinet people, that this money comes from folks like you, and it doesn't, you know, come, it doesn't, you know, appear out of a mist. It's like hard work, and when that tax bill goes up, people feel it. They really feel it, because, like you said, it all comes out of the same checkbook. Right? You know, there's not like, you know, we have different pots of money to pay for
Well,
this
right,
stuff.
it always come out of the same fund. That's
Yep.
exactly right.